We have Alfredo Gonzalaz, our international consultant, here with us.
I'm not only just here, I'm also drinking Riverhead Ciderhouse and talk about our Hispanic Heritage Month and the American Cup Golf Invitational and everything Ryder Cup next year.
Hello, and welcome back to the Long Island Tea Podcast. I'm Sharon.
And I'm Alfredo.
Alfredo, our very own international consultant, Mr. Alfredo Gonzalaz.
Well, and proudly so.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We start every episode with how you doing?
Hey, then in our case, how you doing?
How you doing?
I don't know, for the Colombian in me, that comes out that normally.
It does, right? You have had a very busy week, sir.
We have indeed. We are actually hosting the American Cup Golf Invitational, which is an event now. It's on the 9th year. And it brings travel buyers from all over the world to a destination. And what's amazing about this is that it's a different way of doing business. We're so used to going to trade shows or events where you get to meet with a client for maybe 20, maybe you have a luck in 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Here, these buyers, these decision makers are staying for 4 days.
4 days solid, and they've been playing golf.
Well, we call there's golf in it, but it's really more about showcasing the destination. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It just happens to have golf in it. We have people on the golf and right now on the golf course that don't play golf.
Wow!
But they sell golf.
Okay.
And what we found over the last couple of days is whether golfer or non-golfer, these people are just going like I said before, like this wow factor. They keep going, wow. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. I had no idea that you have this amazing world right next to New York City, which is a product that they've been selling for decades. Mm-hmm. And now they're going like, we have to include this. Mm-hmm. Oh, the Ojica Castle. Mm-hmm. Oh, this restaurant. Oh, the Bethpage. It's just been one thing after the other.
It's amazing. And they're here to play golf, but they're also here to tour the island and get all the attractions in, and they still have a few more days of doing so.
We have tonight, and we're going to be actually showing one of the great things that we're very proud of, which is the vineyard. So we're heading over to Sparkling Point in a little while.
Oh, that's exciting.
Do a little wine tasting,
yeah.
And then we're going to one of our signature restaurants on the island in Riverhead. We'll be going to Jerry and the Mermaids.
I love it.
Oh, it's going to be great.
That's a great
Jerry,
restaurant.
And Jerry's a great host. Mm-hmm. He's one of those people that understands the industry. He'll be out there with us. He'll be telling us how he cooked this in family style. What really is, again, showcase that uniqueness that we have on Long Island.
Yeah. And it's also, we're doing this in preparation for the Ryder Cup in 2025.
Just a little Ryder Cup.
Just a little Ryder Cup.
And that was fun yesterday because we got to play at Bethpage yesterday. And Bethpage is a serious golf club. And if you look at the courses, we have the black course, the green course, the red course. And we were lucky enough to get 16 spots on the black course.
Wow. And
some of the attendees, they're serious golfers. We're talking 20 or better handicap. Right. And it was, and the way the is set up, Bethpage, is that you see the first hole of black when you come out of the clubhouse. Mm-hmm. And they were all like little kids in a candy store. They're like waiting, oh my God, I'm about to tee off on black. It is a bucket list item if you're a golfer. Mm-hmm. And knowing that in 2025, we're going to have the Ryder Cup, that's even yet another incentive. Say, I played this course. That was funny was watching them afterwards when they got off the course going, oh my God.
It's difficult.
It's a very hard course. It challenges the best golfers, but it just throws all the elements that you need. It's you got to be accurate, you got to be strong, you got to be patient, you got to drink a lot. I don't know. It was super fun. They actually loved the experience. The treatment from the staff at Bethpage was amazing. And then we had the rest of the group that played on the green course, and they absolutely loved it. I mean, it's just so beautiful, the landscape, and I think the weather has been so helpful for us for a golf event that they were just like going, how can anything get any more perfect than this?
It is amazing. I have to say I'm freezing. I'm like literally, I have the fall blues because it is so gloomy today. But the weather the past couple of days
Yeah.
has been amazing, and I think coming up the next couple of days it's going to be in the high
Yeah.
70s. It's going to be good.
Well, I mean, and for golf, you don't really want to be that hot.
Right? You're walking the course.
You're walking. The people actually on Black got to walk, and then the rest are on their golf carts. But the weather was perfect.
Yeah.
I think it was perfect golf. When it's too sunny, too hot, no. We had the golf gods looking upon us, and we're going to have great golf on Long Island. And it did turn out. Tomorrow we have one more day of golf, so we'll be, which everybody's looking forward to this.
Yeah.
We're going to Montauk Downs.
Oh, it's amazing.
And so they're talking about Montauk Downs. They're talking about many of these people have never been to the Hamptons.
Wow.
And it's been a reawakening for them.
So the attendees, this is all their first time on Long Island?
No, we have, these are veterans in the travel industry. We have some owners of companies, managing directors, CEOs, presidents. So they've been, there's several that have been to the Hamptons, and they just have not included this because they almost took it for granted.
Right.
And I think having them here this week has been a reawakening. They're like going, I can't believe that we don't have a program here.
Right.
Or we just have a hotel here. They're seeing the length and breadth of everything.
Right.
And all they can see is potential. They know that their programs for New York City are good and healthy, but they can see that adding on the Long Island product it makes good business sense for them as well. And always there's a challenge when we're talking about international, and it's access. We have no problem with access. We have the main airport, which is JFK, which is on Long Island. We have LaGuardia for connections. And if we even had to use Newark, we have it. So these international clients have absolutely no obstacles to be able to sell Long Island.
Right. And it's easily accessible with the railroad. I mean, just straight out of JFK, you can take the air train.
out.
You're out. And you had to pick up a couple of these travelers. How'd that go?
Well, it was interesting because I rented a vehicle from one of our partners.
This cracks me up.
And I rented for the first time. Oh, you'll love this, Sharon. I rented a plug-in hybrid minivan.
Yes.
My wife would not be caught dead in a minivan. But I rented this car.
Because you had to transport a couple of them.
I wanted to make sure the van was big enough if anybody needed to be picked up.
With their golf clubs,
and boxes in our own events. So,
right.
So I'm used to renting a car, and so I'm going to have to eventually buy gas and, the whole process. So I've had to drive hundreds of miles. But then the gas gauge doesn't change.
It's not moving. That's when you came in, you were like...
I'm like, what? Is this car like magic? Am I running on some kind of a carpet? Because it keeps saying that the range of miles, it doesn't change.
That's amazing.
So I'm thinking, I'm not giving it back.
Right.
I'm keeping the van.
Taking
I know
it back.
my wife will kill me because she doesn't like the van, but I'm going to say, look, honey, we'll never have to buy gas again.
Right.
I can drive to New York from, since I don't live in New York, but I'm going to drive to New York from now on in this white minivan.
But you're just taken back with you. But you came to our office when you first got here, and you're like, I need to plug this thing in. I don't know. And there was people parked in the plug-in parking lots.
But I did speak to a gentleman that parked there.
Oh.
And he has a plug-in Jeep.
Oh, so you didn't know.
No, but he told me that the plugins were not working.
Okay.
So today, when I got to the office, I noticed that his Jeep was not parked in the plug-in. Somebody else did.
Oh, yeah. I know. It's crazy. But I think that's such a cool, I might want to get one too. And I would
hate
recommend a minivan.
I'm skeptical about the whole electric car because of that. You never know if you're going to find a plug-in or extra batteries. I don't know. But if you have the plug-in that also has the gas,
right? Then you're fine.
You're fine.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that when you turn it on, you don't really know if the car's on, off.
Right.
It's like, is it on?
You can't hear it.
No,
right?
It's crazy. Hear anything.
Yeah. I mean, good old Target parking lot has like a multiple plugins.
Yeah.
By me, it's
well,
crazy.
we might have to talk to somebody in the building about getting the.
We got a lot to talk to our landlords about. I mean, there's so much going on here. Like we talked about our bathroom situation. I don't know what the men's bathroom situation here is, but again, it's just we got some.
But at least we
Talking to
know
you.
that the quality of work that comes out of the building is good,
Right.
regardless if we have plugins or not.
Exactly. We're here for it. So what else is going on? Are they enjoying it? Are they?
They are enjoying it. And
What has been their favorite part so far?
I think when they walked into Bethpage yesterday, they
They
kind
were
of
just,
like the whole entrance when you walk in, and then you feel the energy. And if you're a golfer or when you know like the Ryder Cup is coming, you start picturing in your mind, I'm driving down all that gravel
Right.
driveway towards the main building, and you're just going, this is going to be littered with media vans and ESPN and sports this, and you feel it.
yeah, it's amazing.
The other yesterday was half the group is in we have a big bus that's taken all 49 of them around and driving into Ohica. And, with us getting ready to put full gear on the 100-year celebration of the Great Gatsby, and we've been talking about it for a while, I could not find a better way to start bringing that to life.
Oh yeah.
Just that drive down the gravel driveway.
When you drive in, oh my goodness, it is so breathtaking.
And you make that turn, and all of a sudden, boom, it's
Yeah.
right there. And we were real lucky. We had some great guides yesterday that told us a story of, when it was built, when it burnt down, why and how. There's German man decided to move to America and build a little 13,800 square foot house. And well, I mean, I'd love to have it, but I'd hate to clean it.
I know.
But again, and then sitting out in the yards and looking across and knowing that Connecticut is on the other side, and so it's been kind of a series of experiences that they get that they've heard but they didn't live it, and
Right.
now that they've seen it, they've touched it,
Yeah.
and being the prequel of the Ryder Cup on one side, being at Bethpage, the celebrations of Gatsby, and being at Ohica. It combines the idea with the actual touchy-feely thing that we
Yeah,
needed
the
to see.
experience.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I think you talked about Gatsby. We are going to see Gatsby on Broadway as a team next week. I'm super excited because we're partnering with Broadway and the Gatsby, and we have some things coming up at Discover Long Island that we're going to be showcasing. I'm super excited for. So
I did not know that it was going to be that impactful. I mean, I know Fitzgerald wrote a great book, and I knew that the whole Gatsby thing, and it was the changing of the way we live today was really shaped back in the 20s and 30s, and especially on Long Island. But what was interesting is that we got a call from our partners in the UK, and there is a group called the British Guild of Travel Writers.
Wow.
And they have an annual event, and all the writers get together, and they talk about how the year was in the news and how it impacted the travel industry. And they look into the future as well, what to expect, what direction is the industry going, whether it be domestic, international, what are they writing about. The whole talk at the Guild for this year in November in London is the Gatsby. And I'm
I love it.
So they called us and said, "Look, we're going to need some help on content and on
Wow.
photography." And like, absolutely.
That's amazing.
So it's amazing that this whole Gatsby thing is not just us to have here on Long Island, but it's something to be globally celebrated and
International.
recognized.
That's amazing. So now you, as our international consultant, how are you going to sell the destination?
Well, if I get to go to the Guild, and funny that you mentioned Broadway, I got myself a vintage tuxedo
Did you? Oh my goodness!
that actually came from a Broadway show.
Wow.
And my son-in-law that has an antique and vintage clothing business found this, and it happens to be my size. I said, Stephen, how does this happen? I'm actually looking for something that I could wear at some of our Gatsby events, maybe not at the Guild, but throughout the year.
Right.
We're going to have different
do
events. And he goes, "Oh no, you can have this."
Oh my gosh.
And I had it dry cleaned, and it is a double-breasted.
Wow.
It is unbelievable. I can't wait if we go to the guild, maybe we'll take it there. But I'm definitely wearing it at the gala.
I love it.
I am wearing my tuxedo, my Great Gatsby, my Gilded Age Alfredo in a tuxedo.
That's awesome. I was just going to ask you, how did you find it? Your son-in-law's a vintage clothing?
Stephen and Alex, my daughter, they have a business, and they do vintage clothing, and he's mostly sports oriented.
Okay.
But he's unbelievable. This is funny because you and I will see a T-shirt, and that looks like a T-shirt.
Right.
Well, different T-shirts are made like for a concert or a sporting event, and they're made different for like what they sell at the store or what they sell. So, and it involves double stitching and this and that. So my brother, Stephen, was telling me one day that he was driving down the street in a very busy street in Fort Lauderdale. Mm-hmm. And there was this homeless person on the side of the road, and he was wearing a concert shirt. And he saw it, and he's, oh my God, that shirt. So he turned around, went to a McDonald's, got a bunch of food, and he had some shirts in the back, and he went and stopped. He says, hey, can I talk to you? And the gentleman was like, well, give me the bag of McDonald's. Right. And the shirt, and he not only gave him food, he gave him money, and he gave him some clothes. He goes, I just want that shirt. The shirt was a collector's item from some concert of back in the 70s. And he's like, you can't find these.
Wow.
I'm like, what was amazing is how did you identify a shirt
from the
driving
street?
On the street from the street to say that that's the shirt?
That's crazy.
Is there an eye for it?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of replicas, and there's a lot of cheap recreations. He knows.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I know.
Oh my gosh. So Gatsby, our gala is Gatsby themed, of course. You're going to wear this tuxedo. I love it.
Oh, are you kidding me? I can't wait. And actually this year, if all goes well, my wife Tina will come up with me. Mm-hmm. You know that we've been trying to get Tina here for years.
Yeah.
And with her being, she's in the travel industry, but she's on the operations side and the numbers side. I always say that she does the intelligence side of travel. So it always happens that when we have an event we'll have here, I have to do a presentation to this, or I have budgets. And so, but this year I said, I don't know. You need to talk to your company and you tell them the first week of December.
Yeah, it's solid.
We are we're on Long Island for the week.
Yeah.
And so she's super excited. And I think she needs it. I mean, this whole week here and everything we're doing, and this weekend, you
have some stuff coming up.
My daughter Jessica's getting married on Sunday, and so I think the mother of the bride,
also feels
it's the one that gets to hit the hardest on these things. I think the father of the bride, I think we'll write a check.
Right.
But when it comes to all the little, I sometimes go, I would have never in my dream thought about having to put, heart-shaped soaps in the bathroom. I'm like, well, it's a bathroom. Get some soap, Oh, no. The bathroom has to have initials on it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. So she's getting married?
Yeah, she's getting married, and I told Tina, I said, look, you have so much, you've done so much, you've worked so hard, you need a break.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for, in the travel industry, the fall is very difficult to plan anything in the fall because it's budget planning, market plan building. You're really setting up your calendar for January. So there's a lot of prep work. So, and then she's doing this, planning a wedding.
Right.
So I said, look, come the first week in December, you can't tell me that if you're not done, we're talking.
Right.
So I said, that first week we're going to the gala, and she'll meet my Long Island family.
Yeah.
Which, I've been here now.
9 years?
Almost 8.
Oh my goodness.
Can you believe?
I can't. It went fast.
You don't realize it and I think I know it's funny, but it says that it's, time flies when you're having fun. This has been the most amazing professional fun ride I've ever had.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, to be honest, Alfredo, you are seriously so smart and intelligent in everything that you do for our organization. Yes. What the relationships that you build. I mean, we as an organization for so long were not globally known. you know, and I think you and our team
The
really
team.
did a great job putting us on the map.
Well, Sharon, thank you for that. But I mean, it really, what I do comes from my relationship with Kristen. When I met Kristen 25 years ago, I remember when she worked in Arizona, we, in the industry, the industry is very tight. We know each other, especially.
Well, we say it all the time. The hospitality industry is a big family. You're one big family.
It's one big family.
Yeah.
We do the same trade shows. We travel together. We see each other, and we get to know each other. Kristen was one of those people in the industry that always made an impact no matter where she was.
Right.
And I remember when she moved to Long Island, and I had just left my job. I took that early retirement from Florida, and she's like, "Well, what are you doing with all that free time?" And I went to college here.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
I went to New York Tech, and it's interesting when you think how life works. That who would have? I mean, me with long hair in Hicksville, New York,
I can't picture that.
in the 70s. That you fast forward 47 years later,
Yeah.
and you're working for that destination that you fell in love literally as a child. Because
Right.
when I got here on the day that Elvis Presley died,
Wow.
August 22nd of 1977.
Oh my gosh.
And little Colombian kid showing up to New York
Yeah.
by myself with a little leather briefcase that I still have.
I love that.
And you kind of look back and go, never could you have dreamt that you would be working for that destination that made such an incredible impact in my life and career. So I remember when Kristen said, "Well, what are you doing with all the free time?" I said, "Well, what would you like me to do?"
Yeah.
And it has been a team effort. And the team, with her leadership, she allows us to go and do the things that need to be done.
Right.
Kristen's not afraid.
Right. Not
She
afraid to
doesn't-
take a
she
risk.
She doesn't take crap from anybody.
Right.
And she knows from her experience what the destination needs. And you remember, and I think one of the most things that I think people will always remember about Kristen is her impact on our success through COVID.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I could guarantee you that from the governor on, not ours, but around the country, they were watching what we were doing here because she informed the community of what was going on. When COVID was over, our community already knew what was going on.
Right. Right.
Where the rest of the country had buried their heads in the sand, waiting to see what happens, to see what happens when the dust settles. No, we were like,
Back at it.
we're back on.
Yeah, yeah.
We did things that nobody else had done. We were out on the road before they were.
Yeah.
And I think that's all leadership. That's all Kristen letting us do our job and letting the industry know what they can expect. And so it's been a great run for me.
I know. I love it. Do you think? I mean, obviously, you know, there's data everywhere talking about how travel is, you know, upticking again internationally. Obviously, I mean, what do you see happening?
I've always, my grandmother used to say that the devil knows more because he's old, not because he's the devil. And so I've had the privilege and honor of working in this industry over, 4+ decades. And you see changes, and the first big change that I experienced was September 11. September 11, and you had to think real quick. So it's like hitting a reset button.
Right.
How do we do this after something like this? And we all remember, and we live with that. Recovery was pretty quick then. We had the airlines and we had things like that, but in security and then TSA, and now you have to take your shoes off and things. But we got used to it pretty quick. COVID was a second opportunity for another reset, but this one was long-term.
And long.
This one was where we're shut down, and they're not allowed here. And through a couple of things that we did probably better than anybody else, communication was one of them. Kristen kept everybody informed, whether it be a hospitality update meeting, was it a meeting with a doctor or an attorney, what to do, labor. So that was the thing. But the industry itself, people traveling did change.
Yeah.
And the changes that we've noticed are very significant because travel patterns and traveler profiles is what our hotels, our attractions, our restaurants are counting to know. Before COVID, 18 and 19, it was all about couples. And, well, COVID hit the reset button. Now it's mom, dad, the kids, grandpa, grandma. So the group itself, the travel profile size has changed. So a hotel now is going, oh, now I'm not selling one room. I'm selling
Multiple.
2 rooms or 3 rooms. And Avis Rent-A-Car is not selling just a 2-door car. I'm selling,
They're selling electric minivans.
It's a plug-in hybrid minivan. And American Airlines says, well, now we can't have only Miami, Charlotte on a 319. No, we're gonna have to put a wide body plane. So those dynamics, we have to recognize them because the industry has to be ready for it. The other has been, which also has helped us a lot, is what the traveler himself wants, not only domestically but internationally. 2019, 2018, going to a park in any city that has a giant roller coaster and waiting for 3 hours was perfectly normal.
Right.
Not quite now.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is people are looking for more the outdoor,
Open air
experience.
Free space.
And look what we have on Long Island.
Beautiful parks.
Beautiful parks.
Beautiful beaches.
Beautiful castles. Outdoor dining.
Yeah.
Amazing weather.
Right.
So we have all these elements in a new traveler profile that are pretty much brand new in the way that people will look at the Northeast.
Yeah.
So we are, if we look at people wanting to do the vineyards and walking, and like our group stayed at Port Jefferson and they stayed at the beautiful Danforth Hotel, and we had a great time. They loved the fact that they could just walk around.
Yeah.
They're
walking.
They're used to going, oh, here we are. Let's Uber somewhere.
Yeah, we need transportation somewhere, but you can walk in downtown villages. I love it.
And you can do that in Shelter Island. You can do that in Montauk. You can just walk around. And that experience, Sharon, and being able to be outside and with your family and really soaking the experience of what the destination is what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest changes that I've seen in the industry, both domestic and international, is not looking for that giant roller coaster.
Right.
But they're looking for that sunset outside of the lighthouse in Montauk.
Yeah. Beautiful experiences.
This morning we had to be up. I think we're in the lobby at. I was out there at 5, but then the group got there at 6. We were checking out. Well, one of the ladies run out. The sun was coming up.
Oh, sunrise! Yeah.
The picture she took. I'm talking National Geographic.
It was beautiful this morning. I remember looking out the window and like telling my daughter, I'm like, look outside. And they're like, it's just the sun, Mom. I'm like, look at the sky.
and that's what I tell my daughters. I said, why are the sunrise and the sunset so special? Because no one can spoil them.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
We have done a great job on spoiling most of everything we have. They cannot spoil the sunset and they cannot spoil the sunrise.
Yeah.
And this morning, this Long Island sunrise, I was driving and I had it on my mirror.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to stop and turn around.
Yeah.
It was absolutely, and then the picture she took she took it from the water side.
Oh, wow.
Facing south. Mm-hmm. The colors over the white walls of the Danforth Hotel with the beautiful orange and red colors is breathtaking.
Oh, that's amazing. You're right. They can't be spoiled.
Nope. Do anything you want, but you can't ruin the sunset or the sunrise.
That's so true. I think we should get into our taste of Long Island, and we're ready for it because it's fall here on Long Island. This week we have Riverhead Ciderhouse has provided us with some hard cider. I think you have the pumpkin pie one, and I have.
I'm very timely.
Yeah.
I have the pumpkin pie. Actually, it's dated.
Yeah. Because it's fresh brewed.
I'm going to have to talk to Michael about this average 6% if I'm actually able to work the rest of the day.
You're so tired.
Because I'm still on the clock.
Yeah.
So here I'm.
You deserve it, he says.
Oh.
You deserve it. The Riverhead Ciderhouse is the perfect place to enjoy the fall season, from classic apple blends to innovative fruit-infused concoctions. Their ciders are the perfect companions for every palate. Every sip is a journey through New York's orchards just for you. Their love for their local community extends beyond ciders. Feasts on gourmet pizzas, artisan sandwiches, and a medley of seasonal dishes crafted from the freshest local produce. I love that about this place is that they use local produce to create their menu.
Yep.
It's delicious. I'm gonna take a sip.
And you know that we actually have our charity for the golf cup, for the American Cup, is Long Island Harvest.
Yes.
And one of the things that we've talked to them is how they work with the locals to get produce and everything to feed. I think he was telling us there's something like 200,000 people
Yes.
are fed every year on Long Island.
It's incredible what they do.
Unbelievable. And yesterday we have this charity. Our visitors that come to the charity, to the event, help with the collecting. We broke a record for the single day collections for the charity yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
$3,700 on the first day.
Amazing. Are
And
they doing it every day?
every day.
Oh, that's incredible.
So tomorrow night, when we close the event at the Indigo Hotel in Riverhead, we're going to have the charity and the president, and we're going to write them a big check and say, here. And a lot of what they do is working with those locals, with the orchards and the farms.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Amazing
I
stuff.
love what they do. But Riverhead Ciderhouse has trivia nights, from brain-bending trivia nights to the toe-tapping tunes of dueling pianos and the amazing live music nights. Their events are not to be missed. You can learn more at riverheadcider.com. Again, that's riverheadcider.com. And if anybody would like to be a taste of Long Island on our podcast and be featured, reach out to Spill the Tea at discoverlongisland.com.
That's right.
So other than the American Cup, I'm going to the closing party. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody and all
We are waiting
I'm
for you.
excited. I know. We've had our very own Courtney playing with them all week as well. And I hear she's the pro.
She's amazing. I mean, I told her this morning, I said, not only do you have her swing, it's like a natural.
She really does.
She's beautiful, and she's gracious, and she's funny. And today, she wowed us. We had an interesting day today. It was called Beat the Pro.
Okay.
And so every player in the cup on a par 3 got to play against Courtney.
Oh my gosh, that's
And,
so funny.
At the end of the day, she was knocking one after the other onto the green. And you should have seen, there it is, she's got a gallery of people watching, talking about pressure. She was unbelievable. The people were jumping up and, oh my God.
so
I actually
excited.
thought I was going to see a hole in one.
Oh my God.
So she did great.
That's so funny because I think she's very reserved, right?
Yes.
So to find out that she actually plays golf and then is that good at it, we're like,
She looks
all
the
mind
part.
blown.
She
That's
plays
awesome.
the part, and she was like that. She was a little reserved when she met the people. You know, by now she's been on for 3 days.
She's been hanging out.
They're buddies.
I love it.
And we always say the people that come to the cup, they come as a guest and they leave as a family.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so Courtney has been great because she's been interacting with all of them.
That's great.
With, Jesus from Mexico and JP from France and Swang from Japan. So she is really kind of
Welcoming
opened up
them,
and
yeah.
welcoming. It's been amazing.
That's awesome. So we have some other fun things going on, Alfredo. It's National Pumpkin Spice Day on October 1st.
Well, I'm going to keep drinking
Keep drinking your pumpkin pie while I talk
cider
about-
to keep celebrating.
I love it. We have a blog that's Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice, where to find Long Island's best pumpkin drinks. That's fun because we typically do like where to go pumpkin picking. Now we're talking pumpkin drinks. That's fun. And then it's also Hispanic Heritage Month. So we
Yes.
have a bunch of great events to celebrate Hispanic culture here on Long Island, like September 27th, the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration in Huntington Station that just passed. And then October 13th is the Family Craft and Activities at the Cradle of Aviation Museum. And on October 12th is Los Lobos at West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center. And my favorite is going to be the Disney Encanto sing-along live at the Stoller Center on the 14th of October.
That's amazing because we have such a large and diverse Hispanic community on Long Island, from tip to tip.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the Hispanic flavor and the positive impact on the local economy is great, and to be able to celebrate the heritage and everything, and especially in Long Island, there's so much history.
There is.
And it's not just centered on one group or one nationality. It's a diverse, and I think the celebration is great. Me, of course, being Alfredo Gonzalaz, I'm
Yes.
definitely not from Sweden. My family my father was Mexican, my mother's Colombian. My brother and sister, we were all born in California, but we've been raised Latins,
Right.
and we honor our background, we respect our background, and when you celebrate the heritage, especially the Spanish heritage, it does it feels good. And if the whole community doing events and festivals and the food and all that good stuff, it feels great.
And I love it. You're right. Long Island is so diverse and with so much culture here. And I think that we do a good job as a community, really celebrating
Absolutely.
each and every, culture.
Better than others.
Yeah, I agree.
I think nobody's left behind.
Right. And, Long Island, I think there's 3 million people here on Long Island. And, just think about that.
Well, we had yesterday on top of the little, not very busy American Cup Golf Invitational, we had a group that was organized by I Love New York, the State Office of Tourism, and they brought the heads of their offices. So they had their German office here, their British office here, their Australian office, and their Canadian.
Wow.
And then we actually took them to Ohica.
Okay.
And they were talking about the Australian lady. Her name is Carolyn Nightingale. I love her name.
I love that name.
Carolyn Nightingale.
Yeah.
We call her Carrie. And she was saying, do you know how many Australians actually live in New York on Long Island? I'm like, no. She goes, a lot. I'm
Wow.
like, really? I said, how? It just there's an affinity between Australians and U.S. and Australians and New York. And I did not know.
Yeah.
I was like, she goes, well, and so a lot of visiting friends and relatives is a huge part of travel.
Yes.
So if you have a base of Australians, their friends and relatives will visit them.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, you learn something every day.
Yeah, that is incredible. So Australia's our next market, you think?
We just got back from there.
Yes, that's right.
I spent
I forgot.
I spent
you went.
2.5 weeks in Australia and New Zealand, and it is interesting because if you think about the challenges of getting from Australia to here.
What's the flight?
Well, right now, if you fly, most of the flights would go from Sydney or Brisbane or Melbourne to the U.S. would go to California.
Okay.
But now we have flights that originate in Australia. They stop in Auckland, New Zealand, and then over to JFK.
Okay.
That flight is about 17 and a half hours. But, so both Qantas does the flight, and they stop in Auckland, and then Air New Zealand, that has had our flight from Auckland since, 2 years now? Starting in probably at the end of 2025 or early 2026, we're going to have a nonstop flight, Sydney to JFK.
Wow.
22 and a half hour flight. Oh.
I can't do it.
But Qantas is a great airline. Even like the premium economy product is, you can do 20. I mean, okay, you're pushing 22, but it is a tough flight, but you can do it.
I have a hard time flying to Vegas, and that's a 5-hour flight.
And I need to convince you, Sharon, we need to go to Australia. You need to take the family to Australia. It's a great country. It's a great people. And what I love about Australia is how much they like America.
Yeah, I love it. I would love to go.
You walk down the street, and if they hear you talking, oh, hello, are you from America? Talk to me. We love your accent. I'm like, what? I don't have an accent. You talk to me. You have an accent.
Exactly.
And you start, and literally I've been walking in the mall.
Wow.
And young kids, they're so friendly. It's almost like being in the U.S. 30 years ago. And come on, talk to me. And you find yourself like,
you don't know what to say.
Like,
exactly. It's funny.
It is a market for us.
Yeah.
And if we look at what are the conditions that we need for travel, is nonstop service.
Yeah.
Because in the past, if most of those planes, and this is not applies to Australia, but any market,
Sure.
if they have to stop somewhere else, let's say California or Texas, we could say that half of those people won't make it here.
You lose them. Yeah.
You lose them.
Yeah.
But when you get a nonstop,
Yeah.
they belong to you.
Yeah. Well, they belong on Long Island, right?
belong.
See? No, I think that it's claustrophobic for me. Like, I can't be on the plane for longer than 5 hours because I'm like, I get all wacky dacky.
Yeah, but when you're in an A350 that looks like you're flying in a house, you can't feel claustrophobic. It's these giant wide body jets, and especially if I don't know exactly what plane they will use. I know it's Qantas has the A380, the double decker. When you're inside the plane, it doesn't feel like a plane. And the funny thing, when it's taken off or landing, it doesn't feel like it's moving.
Because it's that big.
It's like my electric van. I don't think it's on.
You can't hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it.
That's so crazy. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it, but
You can do it.
we can get them here. That's for sure.
Oh, that's what we want.
Yeah, exactly. Planting Fields announces a $2 million campaign to better the grounds in terms of accessibility and sustainability, including 2,000 plus feet of ADA accessible roadway for wheelchairs and such, planting of oak trees, which help environmental sustainability, and refined all of their signage to make it easier for visitors to learn about the area. This is something that I think is going to be super incredible.
It's huge.
It is so huge, and I think within our industry, it's becoming more and more important to market to accessibility and sustainability. And I think we, as an organization, are looking into that for this upcoming year and how we can do better marketing efforts. But I think it's a very big topic of conversation.
And it is at all levels, Sharon. We're attending an event in Las Vegas. Next week.
Man,
I don't know how you
do it.
I think the post office is going to say, how can we find you?
Like, where in the world is Alfredo Gonzalaz?
Yeah, we're attending IMEX, which is a big groups, meetings, and conventions. And on the registration for IMEX, there's a survey that you take. And it is what your carbon footprint will be for attending this. Okay. And I think that's huge because even an organization that organizes travel is saying even you, the attendee, can be a factor. If everyone helps, if everybody puts in or doesn't do this side or the other, you can make a positive impact to the climate. And I was reading through the criteria and going, I need to be more sustainable.
Yeah.
If they're doing it, all we have to do is follow their steps.
Right.
You don't have to reinvent solar energy or wind energy or anything. You just have to be conscious of what the impact, and you can do it every day. Yeah, and sustainability, accessibility, inclusion, it's where the world is going if we're going to be here for a long time.
Right, absolutely. And I think Destinations International, they're doing a really good job with putting more of a focus on that and helping us DMOs kind of get that message out there.
I was just looking at the planting of the oak trees. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, there is a group of scientists that went to the Sahara Desert.
Okay.
And they figure out a way to plant trees in sand. And it's unbelievable. I just saw this on, I think it was on an article on Time Magazine of everything. And what they do is if they dig the hole deep enough, the temperature on the sand is lower, and therefore roots can grow.
So it's.
And you imagine if we can start, we've lost so much trees.
Yeah.
And now we can actually start planting in the Sahara Desert.
That is crazy.
And it's all because there was an idea that is about, if we're going to be here any longer, we need to take care of it. Sustainability is one of those key things.
Absolutely, I agree. Let's talk about some things happening this weekend on Long Island. Friday, October 4th, is the Hamptons International Film Festival kicks off, and that will run through October 20th. And then the Haunted Treehouse Days at Long Island Aquarium starts all weekends in October. And then Saturday, October 5th, we have the Connecticut River State Park Preserve Centennial Celebration. I can't see what this says because I'm not wearing glasses. Greenport Skate-tober contest. Skate-tober. I wonder what that is.
I think it might involve skates.
Yeah.
But then again,
I can go with my rollerblades.
I don't know. You might not be able. It could be like roller blower.
It'll be fun. Then there's Oktoberfest at Reflections in Riverhead, and then Adventureland Fall Festival begins October 5th. Do you flip your porch? Do you and Tina flip your porch? Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay.
Is that a Long Island thing?
It might be a Long Island thing. I don't know. That's when you change your decorations on your porch,
Okay,
or on your front door, and you're
Right.
outside. So I still have my shell beautiful wreaths hanging, and we just got to the first day of fall, and I have to flip my porch, and I can't find. That's what I was going to say. What do you have as recommendations for me?
Well, if I were to listen to the DJ on the radio today,
Yes.
telling me about how he was doing something over his porch and was going to try to see how to compare his front yard and porch to his neighbor that has 10-foot skeletons.
Yes, we talk about this all the time.
10-foot skeleton dogs and
Yes.
with lights. I mean, you're going to have kids in therapy after this.
Well, funny, I saw this on one of my neighborhood houses. They had the two dogs, and the skeletons were walking the dogs.
Yes.
So I'm like, it kind of looks scary. But then I was like, girls, look out the window. See what they said, if they saw it. And they were like, Mom, that's so cool. We want it for our house. I'm like,
so I guess what
all
you're
right.
doing, if
Getting
the kids want
10-foot
it.
skeletons.
Yeah,
if I can find them, I bet you they're sold out.
Well, I saw, but I didn't see the 10-foot skeleton. But like at some of the home improvement stores, they're starting to sell these Halloween decorations in August.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. Well, these 10-foot skeletons that we speak of are sold in Costco, and they've been literally sold out since August. It's crazy.
And it's not like you can just go out there and set them up. It's just involved like you got to bring out the toolbox and the ladder.
It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy.
Well, I can't wait to drive down. I mean, and I have one more day. And I'm already starting to see the impact of the fall, and B, the decorations. So that's going to be. I think it's going to be a beautiful fall in Long Island.
I know, and that we really have so much going on. So I'm telling our hot teas to definitely follow our social. We are definitely posting things every week and telling you how to have the best fall on Long Island.
Stay informed.
Stay informed and tune into this podcast weekly.
Yeah, and a lot of our customers are tuning in, and they find out things that they would normally not see in a travel guide or their travel professional, because the podcast and the way we communicate to the world is giving them all that fun stuff that they would not see anywhere else.
See, and that's why we started it. Alfredo, it's been such a pleasure having you. You know I love you, and I love having you here with us. I mean, I couldn't think of a better fill-in for Kristen than you.
Well, it's an honor, and I love my team. I love you. I love Kristen, and I think you guys treat me like such a part of a family.
Because you are.
That I could never ask for anything else. You've been in the industry for so long. You'll be able to close your, like I call my golden years like this. I could have never ever dreamt it. So I thank you all. And I thank Discover Long Island. I love my Discover Long Island community, the hotels, the attractions that I deal with on a sometimes daily basis. They support what we do, and they support us as people, and that's special. So thank you. And I know those are try to fill in Kristen's shoes for a podcast is a difficult thing to do, but
there's some big heels to fill, but you did it.
Well, finding size 13 heels is going to be a problem, but if I have to.
Hey, you found a vintage tuxedo. I bet you
That's
could,
right, and you'll see that at the gala.
I can't wait. Well, thank you, and we'll see you guys next week.
The Long Island Tea Podcast is brought to you by Discover Long Island, thanks to our generous sponsor, Sands New York. Visit sandsnewyork.com for more information. For exclusive access to contests and promotions, follow Long Island Tea Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and X. And for questions, comments, and collaborative inquiries, email spillthetea@discoverlongisland.com.